Bow, bow, now, now, bow, 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 now, bow, 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 bow. I was born to be a man. Down, 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 down. How's that song go? I call it M. Bow, bow, bow. A child. Dun, dun, dun. In man. What's up, baby? What's happening? No, that song's not from Dream a Little Dream. That is, however, a classic song. That is the first song. I didn't even realize this until I just said it, but this is the first song that I ever performed professionally on television. When I was 7 years old, I sang that song on an episode of Bad News Bears. Ha! Isn't that crazy? I just realized that. 'Cause I'm a man. I spell it M. A child. In man. I don't even remember who sang that song, but somebody might look it up and remember. You can throw it in for a little novelty. Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. It's not really a happy Sunday if you've seen what's going on in the world. My God. I mean, it's like, didn't we basically just throw away the entire 3 months of quarantine just right down the drain, you know? Like, what was the point of all that? Because now everybody's going out and turning into crowds and rubbing up against each other and sweating and here goes the disease running rampant all over again, and now we're going to be right back to where we started. Oh my God. Will I ever see my child? Will I ever see my kid? Okay, so I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the riots. I want to talk about what's going on in LA. And I have to say that I have a family member who is a police officer. Okay, I'm not going to specify who. But I'm going to tell you that, like, a member of my family is a police officer in LA. Please, have some respect. They're not all bad people. Okay, understand this. It is not all police that are racist and bigots. Not all of them. There are good people out there. My family members have been affiliated with the military, have been affiliated with police, all that stuff, you know. There's a lot of that in my family history. We've served this country, and there's no racism in my family. So I know for a fact that there's good police out there. And not only that, but I also have a very, very close friend of mine who is I think like 20-year lieutenant in the CHP, which is California Highway Patrol, which is another brand, another division of police. And also a really awesome guy. He's friends with everybody. He's like the sweetest guy. He's so nice. And, you know, definitely not a racist pig. Not that kind of guy. So I know that there's really good people out there that are in uniforms. And please, I mean, you know, treat them with respect. They're still human beings, okay? And yeah, those filthy, disgusting people who treat other people like filth and are willing to murder an innocent individual, an innocent human being, anybody in that category obviously deserves whatever is coming to them, because it's an eye for an eye. And that man deserves the death sentence. I'm sorry, but that's where I'm at with it. He deserves a death sentence. I'm sorry. But when you kill somebody in broad daylight and for no reason whatsoever, that man was not struggling. He couldn't even struggle. He didn't even have the ability to struggle. His hands were cuffed behind him, and he was laying in the cement. How could he have possibly struggled? It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. And that's why people are so infuriated. It's like, how can you deny what's so obvious, right? I mean, it's so obvious. And it's so obvious every time it happens. Every time. And it's got to stop. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We're not going to take it. You know that song? We're not going to take it. Never did and never will. But we did. We were going to take it and forsake it. And forget it. Better still. That's The Who, ladies and gentlemen. Courtesy of The Who, Pete Townsend. But yeah, it's insane. I mean, it's the power, the hunger for the power. That's what it's all about. And anybody that sees another individual as anything but an equal, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, if you can't see another human being as an equal, no matter what color their skin is, no matter what they do for a living, it doesn't matter. It's all a facade. All of it. Because in the end, you take away the skin, you take away everything, the facade, and we're just souls. We're just souls. And we're all equal. You think God cares what color the skin of that particular soul is? Do you think God cares what that person does for a living? Or how much money they have? God doesn't care. Does not give one crap about any of it. Any of it. God cares about faith. God cares about morality. God cares about what's in your heart. And if your heart is cold and you're capable of doing what that, I don't even want to call him a man, that coward did, thinking that he was cool. You look at the video, and if you look at that one shot where you just freeze on that shot where he's got his hand in his pocket, and he's got a look of contempt on his face. You know? He knows what he was doing. And he thought he was so cool. So cool. Yeah, you're so cool. Look what you did. Look what you did to this world. You did us a favor. You actually did us a favor because you popped the cork. You did something so disgusting and vile that you took it over the line to where there's no going back. There is no going back. And we need this. We need this for my fight, for victims of all types of abuse, all types of wrong, injustices. We need this for everybody. We need to stand united and take the power back. Black Lives Matter. All black people have the right to take their power back. No black man, woman, or child should ever have to fear getting in their car and driving down the street because they might get pulled over and killed. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like never. If you are a white person and you don't feel that way, why should they have to feel that way? And additionally, as a Jewish person, hearing stories from my grandparents about what they went through during war times, during Hitler and the Holocaust, and what I've experienced in my own life, people being bigoted and hating you just because of your heritage. I understand that. I understand what that feels like. But I can't understand at all what it feels like to walk outside and have somebody can't spot me and go, you're a Jew. Once they find out, then they can judge you. But they can't like spot you and go, you're a Jew. You know, that's the thing. But with black people, it's instantaneous. So as soon as somebody's a racist and they see it, it's a target for them. It's a target. How could you imagine? I mean, I know now what it's like living with a target on my head, because I have been living with a target on my head for the last several years. But not my whole life. Not my whole life. I can't imagine being born into that. And that's a really, really awful thing to have to live with in your existence. So my heart goes out to everybody who's ever been judged. My heart goes out to everybody who's ever been wrongly treated like anything other than with love and compassion. Because if you're any human being on this planet, any animal on this planet, every being on this planet deserves love, compassion, and empathy. Everyone. Now, there's obviously some very dark people out there who don't have the capacity for love, compassion, and empathy. And to those people, all I can say is, you got to deal with your own head. Get some therapy. Get some help. If you do nothing in life other than judge other people, just remember that whenever you point one finger, there's 3, maybe 4 pointing back at you. Right? So the point is, we've gotten to a place in society where we must use our voices and use them wisely, not by destroying things. I saw some beautiful things today. Can I say that? Today was such an improvement from the last few days. And thank you to everybody. I was watching some beautiful images of people cleaning the streets, going out en masse to go back into the city and help clean up what had happened. I mean, obviously you can't begin to clean up this mess, but the fact that they made the effort, going out with spray bottles and gloves and bags, and it was a really beautiful thing to see. It was a moving sentiment, and I'm very grateful for the people that did that took the time. So thank you. And for everybody out there tonight, I know it's just getting started. I know that it's going to go off again. Please respect the fact I have literally flesh and blood. My family is out there, okay? Be respectful. Don't throw things at police. Don't throw things at police. Don't, get yourself killed. People are getting killed out there, right? Enough is enough. We get the point. Now it's time for change, and the change begins with the top, the leadership in this country. Okay? We need a leader with empathy and compassion for every person. Okay, let me explain to you. I said this last night on Twitter, and I think, people right away want to jump down your throat, because if they're Trump supporters, they assume that as soon as you say anything bad, that you're saying, I am a left wing this, and I hate the right wing that, and da-da-da. And you know what? Cut it out. Cut it out. Because I'm not that guy. I've never been that guy. You don't hear me going on and on about politics. I've never been that guy. Okay, yes, I know everybody's going to blast me with the pictures of Hillary and the pictures of Bill Clinton. If you had the chance to meet a president, you would meet them too. So shut up. Okay, there's nobody that's going to turn down an invitation to meet a president. So anyway, but the point being that I've always been open to whatever party is going to do the right job. Whatever man is best for the job. That is where I'm at, okay? I don't pick sides. I'll have you know, I've voted for both parties throughout my lifetime. How about that? So don't give me this leftist da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I think there's been some great American presidents that were Republicans. Okay? Big Reagan fan. I loved Reagan. I thought he was great. But one thing I can tell you is that whether it was Bush, whether it was Reagan, whether it was Clinton, whether it was Kennedy, every single one of those men led this country in a time of need. They knew how to bring our voices together, no matter how divided. Don't you remember those great moments? Come on, guys. I mean, how many great speeches did Obama give? How many great speeches did Reagan give? How many great speeches did even George Bush give? I mean, when 9/11 happened, okay, you can have your own thoughts about what went down there. Let's just leave that aside. People were frightened. People were terrified. People were scared. And George Bush stood up there in New York at the site, and he led this country. He gave us a sense of security at that moment. Bottom line, whatever side you're on, I swear to God, I felt safer when I saw him and Rudy Giuliani standing there together. Okay? And I was a fan of Rudy Giuliani for the way he handled the whole situation. Now, that does not give this president the right to talk the way he does to people, to treat people the way he does, and to fan the flames. Okay? I'm sorry, but it's wrong. So let's not make it which side it is. Let's make it, this has got to change. This has got to change. We must demand better. We must demand better, because there will never be justice in this country for anyone if we don't have love and compassion at the top of our morality. That is what makes us great. Is this great? Have we been made great in the last 3.5 years? Somebody give me a response and tell me right now that you can watch what's happening in this country and tell me that we're great, because we are not great. We have 40 million people out of work because of coronavirus, and we have a disaster on our hands, and nobody is bringing us leadership. Nobody is bringing us calm. Nobody is making us feel better. And that's what I care about. Okay? So, please think about these things. Consider where you want to focus your anger. Consider where you want to focus the blame. Because I know somebody who likes to blame everybody but himself. And I know that his followers Go right along with it no matter what happens. And I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, please, as a man who has voted for both parties my whole life, please see that there has got to be responsibility taken. Urge your boy to do the right thing. Stand up and take responsibility. You can't just protect half the country. We are not half a country. We are America. And we stand united as one people, one proud country. And my grandfather fought to defend and had a steel plate in his head and had his finger blown off and had a Purple Heart because he fought to defend our freedom so we could stand united as one country. This must stop. Please. Okay, sorry to get so deep, but I just had to. Seeing the atrocities going on across the country has just been heartbreaking. We need to love each other. We can do this. We can do better than this. And all of the anger is validated. All of it. There's not one bit of it that doesn't belong. But we need to now find the peace within us and move forward, still with great charge, still with a very focused idea of what change must occur. But we must focus on love and compassion for our neighbors. And we got to get back to quarantining. We got to get back to staying safe. There is still a pandemic going on. It's not a joke. And what can happen is right when things start getting back to normal, everybody's going to have to go back into complete lockdown. And not to mention the fact that if this keeps going on, then guess what? We're going to be in a massive, serious military lockdown. And I don't think anybody wants that. So please, everybody, let's pull it together, for God's sakes. People are saying hi to you, Courtney, so she's here. She's staying silent. I guess she's on following along. See, there you go. I need something to drink. Hold on. This is old, but whatever. Oh, nothing worse than stale soda. Yum. So I've made a decision. I'll have you know. I've made a decision. I listened to all of your feedback. I listened to all your comments over the weekend. And I said, here's the thing about the movie. I did what I promised I was going to do. I made a promise to my best friend that I was going to get the truth out, and I did it. And not just to my best friend, but to all of you. Because, people demanded this. They demanded it and demanded it and demanded it for so long. And I was doing a tour. I didn't even want to think about it. I wanted to do my tour. And I wanted to go on and just enjoy my music and, have fun. And, and then it became overwhelming. And I had to stop, and I had to stop everything I was doing to make this happen and risk my life to make it happen. And then it was taken away from me. Stolen. My voice was stolen. Justice denied. So it took me 3 years to make this movie. And, people aren't really buying tickets anymore because most of you have seen it. And for those of you who haven't seen it, a lot of you, I guess, have been having a hard time figuring out how to work the site. So because of that, I know that there's a lot of people that haven't had a chance to see it. Some people have bought tickets, I'm hearing, that haven't even had a chance to see it yet. Of course, the doc is copyrighted, yes, and we, of course, own the copyright to it. And yes, of course, everything they're doing is illegal. And yes, of course, they owe us, I don't know, about $80 million in stolen profits. Oh, thank you, my darling wife. So yeah, it's definitely copywritten. That's not the issue. The issue is that, and yes, they've already burned DVDs and they're selling fake DVDs to it somewhere. But I don't want to turn this into a commercial for them. All I can tell you is that, did I see that Anonymous exposed Trump? I don't know what that is. I've heard something about it. My kid was actually telling me about it, but I don't know. I try not to buy into the propaganda on either side. That's my thing. I'm like I've said, I'm not one-sided here. So unless there's hardcore proof of anything, I don't believe it. I don't know, but that's me. Anyway, I release my own physical media. Well, yeah, this is the problem. Is so release it to who? If the movie's out, it's out now. So you guys, have been able to see it this whole time. So I don't understand. But here's the thing. The problem is marketing dollars. If we had the marketing dollars to put the movie out to the masses, then everybody would know that it was out. Because I guarantee you there's millions of people in this world that have no idea that it even exists. And they need to see it. But unfortunately, I have no way to get it to them. Not now. So what's ultimately going to have to happen is I'm going to have to ultimately fight for my rights. And I'm going to have to ultimately probably, go after the copyrights and all that kind of stuff. But that takes money and it takes time. And I can't say that I'm in a very lucrative position after all this to be able to fight that fight. So, bottom line is, they beat me pretty badly. They really did. I mean, I have to confess, they beat me. But you know what? Let me tell you what. Like I said, I kept my promise. I got the movie out. I got the truth out. And that's what mattered most. And it's in God's hands now. It's in God's hands. I don't know if you noticed, for those of you who follow me on Twitter, but you'll notice that like thousands of followers have dropped off over the last week. Did you guys notice that? Like thousands joined on right before the movie came out, and then thousands dropped off right after all of this is over. Right when I say, okay, I'm really done and it's really over, all of a sudden, surprisingly, they just all fall off, right? Well, so that's why I felt like, okay, I should give him one last surprise. So, I don't know if I'll ever get the movie out on DVD. I don't know if there'll ever be an additional, vehicle or avenue to release it. I don't know if it'll ever be out again. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I don't know if I want to go through the pain of having to deal with it anymore unless I know it's going to bring justice. And is it worth it for me to keep it out if I know for sure that there's a glimmer of hope that maybe somebody that actually cares will actually watch it and do something? And start the process of an investigation. Start the wheels in motion. Maybe just like what happened with the R. Kelly movie, somebody will go, wow, I need to open an investigation on this and make this happen. That's what happened. An investigator who was watching R. Kelly saw the movie and thought, I want to look into this. And that, coupled with the fact that we got the law changed, the CVA changed in New York, that's how it led to indictments. So I'm just praying that something like that could happen for us. So that's why I want to keep it out. And so it's like, okay, you know what? Every minute it's out, there's another chance that somebody's going to see it. But we haven't been able to promote it loud enough because they've done so much destruction, from taking over IMDb to taking over Wikipedia to taking over Google. Like, you cannot just get a clear profile of what the movie is. You cannot just get the honest reviews. All you get is BS reviews and a fake plot line, and, you know, there's no, they don't even give you, like, if you go to Google it, you can't even get the link to the movie. You get all these BS pages about it, and unless you know the link, which, by the way, is mytruthdoc.com, that's the only link that works, and that's the only link that matters. All the other links lead you to the dark web, and then they try and get money out of you, or they do get money out of you per click, but that's besides the point. So my decision is, as kind of a final FU back to them, since they all kind of obviously disappeared off Twitter over the last few weeks, I figure they're not really prepared. So since I can kind of catch them off guard a little bit, I might as well just keep it out for another few weeks. So I'm officially extending it for 2 more weeks with the hope that a miracle happens and something goes different this time. And I don't know if that's even possible. But like I said, because of the fact that people have missed it and they haven't had a chance to watch it yet, there's people who've already bought tickets that haven't had a chance to watch it. And for them, I'm going to leave it up. And for the fact that, you know, it's about hope, right? So, you know, the song's still on the charts. So I feel like every time people hear the song on the radio, they think about the movie. Or like the DJ has to say the name of the movie. You know, so that reminds people about it. So there's always hope. There's always a chance that somebody's gonna find it or hear about it. So please spread the word. Please tell your friends. Do whatever you can. mytruthdoc.com. We're gonna officially extend it for 2 more weeks, and it's for you guys. So, I love you, because I don't know if it'll ever be back out again. I don't know if there's an avenue for it, and I don't know if it's worth the work, the drama, because if it brings change, if it gets justice of any sort started, then it's worth every second of the pain that we've endured. But I need to see that change. I need to see that justice. So I'm willing to try one last time. So there you have it. You got 2 more weeks to put up with this BS. And now you got to deal with hearing all about it every day and all that stuff for another 2 weeks. I know it's annoying, but it's important. Kids, too, should have been first. So many issues in the world, right? So many injustices. How can we take care of our black brothers and sisters and we can't even take care of our own children? How can we take care of anyone if we can't take care of our own children? Telling you, the world needs to wake up. We got to get our values back. We got to get our morality in check. 10 Commandments, very powerful. Let's remember what they are. All men are created equal. because all men are created in the image of our Father. So therefore, we must love and respect one another. So please do your parts. Respect each other. Love each other. Find the peace within your heart. And please, for God's sakes, do something. But do something that's going to make a difference. Burning down somebody's property isn't going to make a difference. Marching to the front of the White House and having your voice heard by our leader, now that'll make a difference. I would love to see all of these marches culminate in an ascension upon the White House. So everybody can put it right back where it started. And then see what our leader can do for us. Put it back on him. Let's see what he can do. That's it. That's my broadcast tonight. I love you. God bless you guys. Have a great week. Okay? Please try and just remember the love and compassion in your hearts. All lives matter. Every soul on this planet matters. God bless you guys. Good night.